Okay. With that out of the way, gentlemen, are we ready to rank the top 5 midfielders of the century? This is going to be, here's my prediction. It's either going to be a heated debate like we had last time, or we're all going to have the exact same 5.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I think the 5 will change, but I think 3 players we all have, and I think we should start just by saying if we have them or no, or we should go.
Let's do it. Let's do it like we did last time, right?
Okay.
Like somebody give their number 5, and then we say if we have them on our list and where. I think that was a good flow. What do you guys think?
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Before we start naming names, what was your criteria for this? Were you looking at stats? Were you looking at trophies? Were you just kind of going anecdotally who you think actually performed the best based off of matches that you watch? What was your criteria going into this?
I always have the same criteria when judging players: moments, how good they actually play ball, stats, and accolades. All of that together for me makes something. And I mean, I want more moments. Like
You said that, no?
Like, did I say that? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. All right. Who wants to go first with their number 5 pick? Who wants to make themselves vulnerable here?
Yeah, I've got. This is has anyone else found this really tricky?
For me, the number 5 is hard.
Yes.
Like, overall, everything is hard because I think also taste of, like, your personal subjective taste of how midfielders are can change a lot depending what leagues you watch. That. So, Pablo, go first.
I don't actually know if I can do this, lads. I'm just toying with a few names here. I am just toying with a few names.
Go.
Do it. Don't think, just do it.
Frank Lampard.
Okay. Got him on the list.
Oh, wow.
Are
you being serious?
I also have...
Yeah,
I also have him at number 5.
Yeah.
I have Lampard number 5 as well.
This is fantastic. I can't believe this. I'm so used to getting hammered for that.
No, Lampard's a beast. What are you calling,
mate,
bro?
I completely agree, but I'm used to getting absolutely hammered for that for a rate. Wow, hello.
For me, I think he's what Jude Bellingham hopes to be.
Yeah.
Box-to-box midfielder, but really strong output on the offensive side. Could get 20 goals a season, Champions League winner. Happened to be part of that England era that never really fulfilled the potential with Lampard, Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Wayne Rooney. You could go on. That was just a ridiculous squad that they had that couldn't really put it together. But they were also in that era going up against some pretty strong nations. So that aside, I got Frank Lampard on my list. He just stuck in there.
This is.
I got him in there.
It's his
5.
goals. I completely agree, John, that obviously the goals are what stand Lampard out because he got a ridiculous amount. I also think he contributes a lot more than Jude Bellingham to a football match, though. For me, Bellingham is purely a goal scorer right now. And if he doesn't score, then I don't see him do much else. Lampard, for me, also could control games and dictate tempo. So I really rated Lampard.
Yeah. He's an ideal box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah. For me, it was between him and Gerrard for number 5.
You guys are...
There's literally one thing that I think, even though both won the Champions League, is just the Premier League. Like, not winning the Premier League, I think it's such a huge thing for Gerrard. But for me, Lampard, the highest scoring midfielder in the Premier League ever, like, insane. Such a good midfielder for me. I really, really like him. I think it was hard, honestly. There were plenty of names, but I think those two, Gerrard number 6 for me, Lampard number 5.
Yeah, we'll see as the list goes on. There, I got some names on my list where it's like, ooh, this player's kind of part of a pairing, and it's hard to, no spoilers.
There are so many names on this one. I'm not gonna lie. The strikers,
we could redo it and do like best midfield pairings, best midfield trios.
Yeah.
We got a list coming up, folks. It's happening. Anyway,
okay, number 4.
Fuga. Number 4, baby. Who you got?
My number 4 is Toni Kroos. I think he's really good. Like he's really good. He's very underrated. I think when you come to take a look at overall how good of a player he has been, he has won the 3 Champions League. He has won like how many 5 Champions League I think so
Probably
far,
more.
or 6.
Yeah, I think probably 6.
Something
mate,
like crazy like that. World Cup had a
winner as
brace
well.
in the semi-final of Brazil in the most important match and was the man of the match in the game. Insane. Toni Kroos, absolutely incredible. Bayern Munich didn't want to renew him his contract because they thought he wasn't worth the big wages as one of the main men in the team. He just literally left Bayern Munich, went to Real Madrid, and then like completely demolished European football. Absolute masterclass. You just see how much of an impact Real Madrid has with someone up without him. Modric is still on the team, but Kroos is really the one that keeps the playing going. He's a metronome with the ball on his feet. He's insane. I also really like his attitude when it comes to being like a professional and working hard. Not in the sense, like I also think professional in the sense of like kicking Pedri like how he did in the Euros. Like he's not calm, you know. He's like I'm gonna F you up if I want to win. And I also appreciate that quite a lot.
You appreciate? I don't appreciate. I think he should have been sent off in the first half.
No, he should have been sent off.
Shameless, and he had the cheek to complain about the Cucurella handball the other day. By the way, he said that shouldn't have been my last game.
No, he was.
Mate,
he should have been sent off. I'm not saying that he should
in the 30th minute. Sorry,
but I think there's just what I mean, the competitiveness that he has, right? And at the end of the day, you have to be a competitive guy to be the best in the world. So yeah, I put him at number 4. I think he really is a good player, and yeah, he deserves to be there.
I did not have Toni Kroos on my list, but I did appreciate his Instagram battles that began with Gavi posting pictures of leaving the other one on the ground. I don't know if you guys caught that. It was like 2 or 3 matches in a row where those two were going at it, and it was, for me, actually, it was a little bit cringe for Kroos because Kroos was, the older man, and Gavi's like 17 doing this. And I think Kroos did it first, if I'm not wrong. I think Kroos first posted with Gavi laying on the ground behind him, and then Gavi gave him the zinger back. I do not have Kroos on my list, but I do have Luka Modric at number 4.
Yeah, me too, John. I've got Modric, unfortunately, at 4.
At 4?
Yeah, Booga made a face. What's the face about, Booga?
Oh no!
I don't know. I want to hear your other.
Oh
shouts.
god! That means. Oh no, Booga! Oh no, Ignacio! wait! I have a very
Modric.
Very important. This is best midfielders, right? Yeah, fine.
Yeah, but I should have said this at the top. We're kind of excluding the number 10s, like the purely attacking midfielders, and we're also excluding the purely defensive one, the holding midfielders. We're really talking about the true midfield, box to box, maybe a little bit on the attacking side, but the box to box midfielders, not necessarily the pivots or the number 10s. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have pivots.
No pivots. No pivots.
So,
no number 10s.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we all got Lampard at number 5. Pablo and I have Modric at number 4. Booga has Kroos at number 4. Booga, is Modric on your list at all?
Yeah, he's number 3.
Number 3. Okay. All right. Okay. My number 3.
But yeah, say
what?
It.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that for me, Modric and Iniesta are very close. Like for me, Modric and Iniesta are very, very close. Really, they're really, really close. I think in terms of longevity, Modric is more than Iniesta.
Disgusted.
No,
I really do think they're very close. For me, number 1 is clear. But
What easy.
I'm not gonna say it. Number 2 and number 3, they were. It was Modric is just a bit too close to Iniesta in my opinion. People, I think if you make the argument that he's better than Iniesta, like I wouldn't kill you, like I fair play. I understand that, but for me, overall, Modric, what he has done longevity wise, Champions League has won, taking Croatia to the final of a World Cup, another semi-final, playing the 7 games in the World Cup, then like it or not, deserved or not, winning a Ballon d'Or, like it's still like important in a sense. So Modric, I think it's an insane footballer, wonderful player. He has the moments, he has the stats, he has the longevity, he has the style of play, he has everything in my criteria to be really high up there. But there's only one thing I think when we get to talking about Iniesta, I'm gonna say it, that I think separates Iniesta above Modric, and that's one thing that I'll keep.
Yeah, Modric for me it's one of the few players that is so good and plays the game in such a beautiful way that even though he's a Madrista, I got love and respect for him. And I enjoy watching him play, for sure. I could probably count on one hand the number of Real Madrid players that I could say that for. And especially on this current team. Let the comments come in. I don't care. There's not a lot of players that I love and respect on this current Real Madrid team, but Modric for me is one of those players. So I got him in there. I got him in there at number 4. My number 3, Andrea Pirlo.
Yep.
I don't have him.
Me too. Me too.
I didn't think you guys would.
No, I do, John.
You got him, Pablo?
Pirlo's in there for me.
Damn.
Bang, 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 bang. Let's go. Where you got
I've got him 3 as well. I've got him 3.
Pablo, do you and I just have the exact same list? I think.
Oh God,
I think you
we
have
actually
the
might
same
do. That's actually a good chance we do. Yeah. This list
awesome.
has really fried my head. You know, I've really struggled doing this, but I put Pirlo. I just tried to remember like midfielders who I watch, and this for me, ball guys, what separates Iniesta from Modric for me. Like, do you when you guys watched like an Andres Iniesta, or like an Andrea Pirlo, and then you watch Modric now? Is it just me who thinks there was a different class? I think we've almost been brainwashed. Maybe when we come to Iniesta, wherever you guys have him, we've almost accepted because of how successful and relentless Modric has been with Real Madrid. I think player to player, for me, him and like Iniesta are incomparable. I don't know if that's me, like the Barca goggles, but I see online, it's like, sometimes it's common knowledge that amongst people that Modric is a better player than Andres Iniesta was. And for me, that absolutely baffles me. I've seen like people do tweets of that where they go like, no way you think Iniesta's better than Modric, and it's got like 100k likes. And I'm like, like, wait, what? Like, I'm like, people actually believe this shit? And for me, I think
the
for me,
only reason why people believe it,
like,
yeah, I know. I think the only thing that people can level Modric with, I think, is the fact that he won a Ballon d'Or. And accolades in general. Like, I think in terms of and longevity, that's the only reason why I think people can look at Modric
stats.
for more than Iniesta. And people that like to see football that way, they can do that. But player to player, like if I'm playing, I don't know, like 1v1, I think that Iniesta beats Modric. You know, like I feel that Iniesta is a much better player than Modric. He really is. But also, like, let's remember that was a time where there wasn't this social media, this stuff. So it's like that evolution of that Iniesta, we have, people haven't seen the best of him, but overall, if you have, you know that Iniesta is wonderful.
Yeah, it is for me. I'll hit you with another quote. There are lies, damn lies, and statistics. And if you did not watch these guys play, you don't know how good Iniesta was. I'm spoiling some of my later rankings, but it's because he didn't get the number of goals and assists that you see from some of these other players. But if you watch them play head to head, yeah, it's not the same. It's just not. So pause on that. Let me back up to Pirlo. World Cup winner, Champions League winner, adapted his style of play throughout his career. He made players that were not so great look great. He elevated everybody around him.
Yeah, he was class. Yeah.
Big fan of
Andre. Me too. If I remember some of the first, I actually fall into the category a bit of the people you're talking about, John, with Pirlo. Really, I missed a lot of his best years, I'm sure. But I do remember watching him in Euro 2012 and thinking, like, and they were playing Spain in that final, Italy, and obviously Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, like, ran the show. And you were thinking, like, this guy would fit right into this team. You know, you almost felt sorry for him in the Italy team who didn't want to hold possession. But when he got on the ball, I mean, that whole tournament, he was just like levels above everyone else. He's a class player.
Yeah.
I'm For me, I don't really put him that high up, but I'll take it.
Baby Booga. Baby Booga. Okay. So
Number
Lampard,
2.
Modric, Pirlo for me and Pablo. What's your recap again? Booga, you
Mine
got
is number
Lampard,
5, Lampard. Number 4,
Bruce,
Kroos. And number 3, Modric.
3 Modric. Okay.
I think we both all have the number top 2 here.
All right.
In what order?
Yeah, in what order? Yeah. Pablo, we're back to you. Who's your number 2?
This is something I debate all the time. It's between, obviously, am I saying my top 2 correct? My names, yeah?
Yeah, let's just say
It's
top 2.
between
Xavi and Iniesta,
Xavi
right?
and Iniesta. This is one of the great debates amongst Barca fans, and certainly not here in Spain, of who was better, Xavi or Iniesta. I was always of the belief that it was Andres Iniesta. Growing up and as a football fan, I was always of the belief it was Andres Iniesta, and I mentioned that at work recently, and got absolutely hammered because apparently to them, it was common knowledge that Xavi Hernandez was a much better footballer than Andres Iniesta. It was absolute common knowledge. But I seem to remember Iniesta having a little bit more to his game than Xavi, where Xavi was such a good controller and passer and tick things around. But I felt as though Iniesta was a bit more agile. He could dribble more with the ball. And more importantly, he could score more goals and big goals. The World Cup goal is the big one that will always be there in his career. So I'm just going to stick to my guns and put Iniesta on, Xavi too, because for me, he made the difference in moments of that. I think that's the point you were going to make too, Bulgar. And that for me is also invaluable in a footballer. And I just think he had more to his game than Xavi. But again, that was an opinion I had that did not go down well with some people. So
For me, Iniesta, that goal in the World Cup separates him from Modric and puts him in my number 2.
Yeah.
For me, Xavi is better than Iniesta. For me, I'm on the camp of like, for me, Xavi was a far better player than Iniesta. Like, not far better player, but he was unique. Like, Xavi won't ever be replicated as a player, in my opinion. I think Iniesta, someone can reach that level. For me, Xavi is like the Messi, like the extra player from that position in the generation. For me, the way that he saw football, the way that he controlled the ball, the way that he simply command every game, not breaking a sweat. Oh my God! Even I'm gonna use this. Of course, this is not. I'm gonna use this point as a manager, but even he came in and that he was as a player the exact same way he was as a manager, and sometimes even that cannot be as good because he was so different as a player that of course it's gonna be difficult to translate that into your dressing room because it's like you just expect them to do stuff that for you is super simple to do, but they won't understand. So for me, that's one of the very big gaps that Xavi has when managing a team because it's like he's just such of a different level, of a different understanding of the game. And I think that when you see play on 2009, 2010, 2011, insane. I always remember like he had things drilled down to a T. I remember the corner that he scored in the corner that he assisted to Puyol in the semifinal against Germany in the World Cup. That was the sweetest corner I've ever seen someone shoot. Insane, honestly. Like for me, Xavi's, and for me, like I said, I think he's like the Messi of the midfield. Like he's apart,
Yeah, there is only one Xavi.
Yeah,
absolutely. If you had to pick one of the two to stay specifically in the middle of the pitch, I would probably take Xavi. But Pablo, to your point, Iniesta gives you that little something extra with his dribbling ability, that little something extra to create on his own, right? So it is a slightly different playing style, a slightly different player. But I got Iniesta at number 1, not just because of my heart. I am wearing his kit right now. Bang on. This is from the Camp Now, by the way. I was telling Booga before we started. This is from the Camp Now, 2017. Wow. Let's go. Anyway, Iniesta, only player to be man of the match in a Euro final, World Cup final, and Champions League final.
Yeah, that's massive.
Get out of here.
That's massive.
Get out of here. He shows up. He shows up. So we're splitting hairs, in my opinion. Those are the top 2, and then there's everybody else because of the longevity, the pure dominance with Barcelona and Spain. How many players, right, in any position can say that they dominated the world of football for club and country for how many years? 4 or 5 years. Absolutely incredible. So it's those two and everybody else. I got Iniesta just number one. Just barely number one.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's like just it's like you're saying, splitting hairs. It's like it's just we're talking about the best of the best here overall.
Yeah,
and I know we're defending like them two, Iniesta and Xavi, but I am of the point of view that I do include Modric in that table. Like if I'm doing like a wedding, the tables, I sit them three together. Like that's what I would do. Like I do think that.
My first thought when this came up was, okay, well, it's Xavi and Iniesta, it's Kroos and Modric, and then who's my fifth? That was my first thought, to be honest.
Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, I left Kroos off a little bit because of bias and a little bit because I wanted to recognize some of the players that maybe came a generation before with Lampard and Pirlo. Yeah. So, interesting. Okay.
For me, there's one player that I really like, and for me, it's very high up there in the list. I don't know if you have them high up. I want to know your opinion quickly, like how good you regard this player. But for me, there are actually two. One is Yaya Toure. I think he was really, really good. And I think that Sneijder was really good as well.
Wow.
Like for me, the best
Sneijder
2010, when they reached the final of the World Cup, when he won the Champions League with Inter, that was undoubtedly like one of the best individual seasons of someone I've seen. He was really good, but he just hasn't been able to maintain that. But I don't think they're close to these players. But I thought they just needed recognition because some people are not going to mention them, I think.
Yeah. This is a bit of a spoiler. One of the rankings that we'll be bringing up here in the next few weeks is players that the streets will never forget. Yaya Toure is on my short list for that one because I think his longevity wasn't quite there. But talk about I think it was 2013. You couldn't touch him. You could not touch him whatsoever. So more on that. Here's a question, and then we'll wrap up on this. Are there any current midfielders? Because I know Modric is still playing, so he's a current midfielder on the list. Other than Modric, is there any current midfielders that you think are in that conversation that are honorable mentions on this top 5?
From the top of my head, I have one. On the top of my head, I have one clear one. That is De Bruyne.
Oh, good.
That's who I got.
I think out of my head, bang, De Bruyne is in that conversation.
Yeah.
Thinking of maybe another one. I'm not too sure.
I don't know about.
Does any one of you have?
I don't know about getting the top 5. N'Golo Kante.
I don't know if the top 5.
N'Golo Kante is a good shout.
But I
would
think
put him if we were doing defensive
CDMs.
mids.
Right.
Yeah. If we were doing defensive mids, I'd get him.
Another one that I think it's very underrated, but definitely should be in conversation, should be mentioned in this list is Gundogan. I think Gundogan is very underrated. Overall,
World
as a
Cup
career,
winner,
what he has
Champions
done,
League winner. Yeah.
I think he's very underrated. And I think those will be my names. And in terms of players who will be in that debate, what would you say? Players that will be there. Pedri, I think, will be there.
Yeah.
Gavi, I think, it will be there. Bellingham, I think, will be there. I don't know if Valverde will be there.
I knew it.
I think maybe. I think.
Come on, you must have one more hipster
from those.
us.
Yeah, I think one more hipster.
Give us someone.
I don't know.
Like
I think
player from
that's it for
Stuttgart
me.
or something.
No, I think someone Vitinha could be there.
Here
well.
we go. Here we go.
I think Vitinha will be. I think Vitinha will be like. I think Vitinha will.
Wow.
Well, I think Vitinha
he
would
just
be
said
like.
Vitinha, didn't he?
Well, like Verratti, like Verratti was a very good midfielder, but he was never gonna be on the top list because he just played PSG the entire season. So I think that's what's gonna happen with him.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up on that one. Again, let us know your comments. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Give us your top 5. If you're gonna say, "Oh my God, your top 5 was terrible. I can't believe you put blah, 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 blah," give us your top 5. All right. Have some courage. Put your name in the hat, or throw your hat in the ring, as they say. Whatever the saying is, I don't know. I'm tired. We're getting off of here. Let us know your comments, And we'll keep the list going. Let us know what you'd like to see ranked. We've been talking about doing some things, like I said, players at the streets won't forget. We got to do CDMs. We got to do attacking mids. We got to do wingers. We could, if we wanted to, go through the numbers. We could do the best number ones, number twos, number threes, number fours. That might be fun. So give us your ideas. Let us know what you want to see ranked. Show us some love in the comments. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. All those things. All right. And we'll be back for more Barcelona news, Barcelona conversation, and good hang with the boys every Monday here on Mes Que Un Podcast. We'll see you next time, folks.
See you. Bye.